We got our camera girl Hazel. This is my niece. How old are you?
7.
7? You're 7? You're gonna start your own YouTube channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? What's it gonna be called?
I'm not sure yet.
Not sure yet?
No, like the Hazel channel or something?
The Hazel channel. That works. That works.
So, yeah.
Alright, here you go, camera girl. You ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's do it. So we got our blue catfish nuggets that we caught down in South Carolina. Alright, so we're gonna cut those open. My lovely wife, Rihanna, vacuum sealed these all for us. So look at that. All that nice white catfish meat. And that's about the nugget size you want, right there. Think about like a McDonald's chicken nugget when you're cutting them up. If you bought them at the store, then that's your own fault. If you caught them, great. If you don't know how to catch them, go check out our other video that we just posted down in South Carolina catching these guys. So over here we got our dry ingredients, right? In this bag is 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of yellow cornmeal, right? To that, we're gonna add, here's what I got right here. You can do whatever seasoning you want, but I got a tablespoon of Cattleman's Ranch seasoning, a tablespoon of Slap Ya Mama, and a tablespoon of Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. I put that stuff on everything. It works great. And I probably pronounced that wrong. Everybody says that a little differently. So with our flour and our cornmeal, we're going to add the seasoning in. Mix that up a little bit. So now we got our seasoned dry mix right there. So that's got all our seasoning, our flour, our cornmeal. And then you got your wet mix over here. So you can get yourself a bowl. We got Frank's Red Hot, little Texas Pete, some yellow mustard, and a few eggs. So you got your bowl. Crack yourself a couple eggs. Set them on the counter so your wife gets mad later.
Uncle Nick.
We're going to take a little bit of that Frank's Red Hot. Throw some of that in there. All right. Little Texas Pete.
Not too much, because I don't like that much spicy.
Well, we're going to find out. Whatever yellow mustard you have.
Mm-hmm.
Put a little squirt of that in there.
Ew. That doesn't look very yummy.
Well, give it a second. Let me grab a whisk. All right, we're going to mix that up.
Get a nice overlook.
There you go. See, you got this camera girl thing figured out. So there's your wet ingredients. Now, remember to take the eggshells and that mess off the counter before your wife sees it. So we got our dry, we got our wet, and over here, we got our oil. Now normally I use peanut oil, but I'm not right now. I'm using vegetable oil because that's what I have. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna check the temp because this is an induction stove. The thermometer that I usually use when I'm frying doesn't work on this stove. It interferes. So here's a little trick if you want to know how to check your oil. If you do have a thermometer that you can check your oil with, you want to be somewhere around 325 degrees. But here's a little trick. You take a pinch of your dry seasoning, your dry flour and stuff, you throw it in there, and you see that little sizzle?
Mm-hmm.
That means it's ready to go. So you slide your wet seasoning over, and you set up a nice little workstation. Here's those beautiful white catfish fillets, or
They
nuggets.
look like chicken.
They do look like chicken, don't they? They kind of taste like chicken when you're done. You're gonna move them around in the wet mix. Now that's your eggs, your hot sauce, your mustard. And you're gonna drop them in the Ziploc bag with your dry seasoning. So you do a few of those at a time. Just make sure you wash your hands. Otherwise, you're gonna be that guy at the barbecue. Nobody wants to eat their food.
Yeah.
And if you're some kind of weirdo germaphobe, just put some gloves on.
Well, you didn't have to add the weirdo part, but...
Well, there's weirdos out there. You'll learn that as you get older.
Like,
remember
whatever.
To seal the bag off before you start shaking it, unlike what I just did. Alright, now here's where the magic happens. Watch this. So you take that nugget out. See how that's nicely coated?
Yeah.
It's got your wet and dry on it. Nicely battered.
Yep.
Now watch this. Place it in nice and gentle. That's just about the perfect temperature right there. I can tell by the way it's falling in there. And back in the day, they didn't have all the fancy electronic thermometer probes. They had to do this all by eye. So that's what we're doing here. Hear that nice sizzle? Yeah. That's the good stuff. You want to kind of do these in batches. You don't want to overload your pan for a couple of reasons. One, the nuggets will all stick together. And two, you'll cool off your oil too much. So that was 5 or 6 nuggets there. And look at the way those are frying away.
Very bubbly, like a hot tub.
And that's exactly what you want to see. Yep. Catfish in a hot tub. Let me see if I can find something to scoop them out with when the time comes. Get yourself some kind of scoop. You know, something like this. Any kind of little strainer scoop works just fine. And just make sure that they're not sticking to each other. It only takes a few minutes. Basically what I've found is kind of when the sizzling slows down, that's about when they're done. So those are going to be done pretty soon. You can kind of hear the sizzling starting to slow down. It doesn't take that long, folks. It's a pretty quick process. So while those are finishing up, we're going to go on to our next course, right? We're going to grab some more nuggets, throw them in our wet. Get a nice coat of the wet mix on there.
Then we're going in to place it in the bag and just...
That's right.
Dry mix.
From the wet mix to the dry mix.
And then just keep repeating that process until you have 5 to 6, I guess.
Exactly. That's it. And then it's just steps 1 through 4 over and over again. And before you know it, you got a whole fish fry going. Now come back over here. Hear how that sizzling has kind of slowed down? That means they're just about done. And that's pretty much what you want to see. You can go a little further than that if you want, but I don't like to over fry them. We're gonna just fry them to perfection. We're not gonna over fry them. So while those are still good, and here's a little trick. While we already seasoned our dry mix, so there's already some flavor on those, right? We're gonna move them over to our platter with our paper towel or coffee filter, whatever you have. We're gonna move them over there, and then we already seasoned the dry mix, but you can just give them a quick dash as soon as they come out of salt and pepper. All right, guys, here's the final product. Oh, what's left of it. But here's what's left after snacking on them the whole time we were cooking them. From the lake and from the sea. We got some steamers going. Christine made those. And we got, these are Portuguese stuffies. These are phenomenal. So if you're in the area, if you're around our area, stop in at Seafood Etc. and grab yourself some of these Portuguese stuffies. So everybody's gonna try some of these catfish nuggets. Hazel's hungry. She's pretending she didn't already eat an entire serving of those nuggets while we were cooking them.
I definitely didn't, guys. I didn't.
Kipper, what do you think of the catfish nuggets, dude?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Addicting.
Yeah? Like crack?
Hey, come on. Except I won't be good.
Oh. You will if I kill you. They're good, very good. 10 for 10, I'd recommend
better.
Blue Cat.
What's that, Chris?
Had
Kipper?
better.
Had better?
Christine, did you try them yet?
Good.
Nailed it. All right. Honey, what do you think?
Fantastic.
Hey, this thing's crying.
Maybe some non-shellfish sides.
Non-shellfish side. Yeah, Chris is allergic to shellfish. I didn't realize until we came down here and set the whole table that the only thing he can eat here is the catfish nuggets. But he's digging them, so that works out.
Try one? A bite?
I'm just gonna have to eat less of them,
Not amazing.
so he gets a dinner. Well, help yourself to our kitchen. You can have whatever you want. So that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Junior's all tuckered out. Daddy's pretty tired after all the travel, all the boating and fishing. Uncle Chris is over there. He's already having an allergic reaction to the clam that he ate. Are we in a better mood now?
You can tell by the face. That's a no.
So the catfish nuggets were a hit. Go ahead and try the recipe. Tweak it however you like. Tight lines, guys. Hope you catch a keeper. We'll see you on the next one. And Junior here says, like, share, and subscribe so that this channel is worth something when I'm old enough to take it over one day. Huh, buddy?